pick and roll. Giannis on the loose. Oh, he did.
Tonight's video gives you the truth behind why Giannis will win the MVP in 2019. Passing up on Harden's 36.5 points per game on the surface seems like
blasphemy.
But Antetokounmpo leads a #1 seed in nearly every statistic. So let's look at how the Greek Freak has taken over in the 2018-19 season while deciding if being the most valuable player in the NBA means you're the best. Quick shout out to Hattie. He says for Toronto to win a chip, one of the Warriors' 4 All-Stars must get injured, and they can't lose games in the first couple rounds to rest Gasol, Kawhi, and Lowry. Y'all showed out in the comments section last video. Tonight's shout-out question is coming right up. So why does Giannis top Harden for MVP when Harden is averaging the most points per game by a player this century and gives you more assists per game than Giannis? These two dominate the game in completely different ways. Harden has unlimited range and can do anything he wants in one-on-one situations, while Giannis's slashing and the unstoppable post-up game he's developed this season allows him to easily score without a three-point shot. More on his offense coming up. It's the work that Giannis does defensively that gives him a ton of momentum in the MVP race. On this end, he can't be described as anything less than a menace. The game-changing chase-down blocks and passing lane steals that come absolutely out of nowhere are one thing, but it's how he intimidates offensive players, just draining their confidence with his presence alone. The 7'3" wingspan that he has is just tough to create space from. He can really cover a majority of the floor. On my lockdown defenders list, I mentioned he was the #1 ranked player in defensive rating, but his impact can't be justified in just a stat. He guards all 5 positions like no other player in the league can, while acting as the perfect help defender. He's so good at roaming and making up for others' defensive mistakes that Mike Budenholzer often puts him on the weakest offensive player, not because he's not capable of guarding the best ones, but it's because he's so dominant as a second line of defense and a safety, roaming help defender that you want him doing that as much as possible. Antetokounmpo's added strength gives him a ridiculous ability to just put his shoulder into you and finish at the rim. Everyone complains about the three-point shot, which if he gets hot from, he's actually a solid threat. But it's not even necessary for him to have one. Euro steps and spin moves after he relentlessly pushes the ball in transition, never allowing your defense to set up, along with straight dominance from the post, make up for the three-pointer. It's the improved play in the post that's been a scary development in his game, and it makes defenses just want to give up, because after he backs you down a few dribbles, he can just extend his arms for dunks that would be layups for every other NBA player. So scoring is a seamless part of his game. As you'll see in just a little bit, it's only one of his responsibilities though. But here's how Giannis may have sealed the MVP. He showed off his defensive value more than ever against Philadelphia on April 4th, embarrassing the man who said he himself was the best defensive player in the league. Giannis blocked Joel Embiid 4 times, not to mention he put up 45 points and 6 assists while owning the glass, grabbing 13 rebounds, and that leads us into the Harden versus Giannis debate. The argument for Harden is first the fact that the Rockets have the best record in the league since the All-Star break. Also, he's in his own league as a pure scorer and shot creator, especially from long range. But here's why Giannis has the clear advantage. Giannis gives the Bucks nearly 28 a game, leading his team in scoring like Harden. But Chris Paul leads the Rockets in assists. Clint Capella leads in blocks and rebounds. And those 3 things are some of Antetokounmpo's biggest responsibilities. Protecting the rim, he's second right behind his center, Brook Lopez, in blocks. He leads the team in assists, and he leads the team by a mile in rebounding. If we're talking value, Giannis wins this. If we're talking scoring talent, which we're not unfortunately, then it would be Harden. Giannis is only the 7th player in NBA history to average over 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists in a season. And his overall value to a #1 seeded 60-win team earned him the MVP. Does it make him the best player in the league, though? Well, the MVP award isn't typically given to the most talented NBA player. The most recent example of that is LeBron being clearly the best player in the league and not getting the award for season after season. And then in the mid-2000s, there was Steve Nash getting the award twice over guys like Kobe and Shaq. This season, though, no one's been nearly as well-rounded in both scoring the ball, defending, and rebounding than Giannis. But let me know your thoughts on that. The shoutout question is, who's your 2019 MVP and why? If you're new and enjoyed the content, be sure to hit subscribe. This was Dflow. Thanks for watching. See you next video.